Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bitter Rivals podcast. This is episode 44 and the second episode presented by TGEM. And again, we just wanted to thank TGEM for hosting us on their platform. And we're really excited to be there once again. But we got lots of hockey to talk about this week. And lots of interesting stuff going on in the hockey world, from Evander Kane becoming an Edmonton Oiler, the Leafs turning the tables and actually making a comeback last night.
Yep. We got the Olympic rosters.
The Olympic rosters. The Edmonton Oilers absolutely slapping the piss out of the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, but everyone saw that coming.
Everyone saw that coming. Everybody saw that coming. Yeah, there's lots to talk about. So let's get started. We'll start Leafs like we always do. So
big comeback last night, eh?
Big comeback last night. But let's talk about Wednesday first. So we played, I forget who it was on Wednesday now. It was the Ducks. That's right. Won in a shootout. Yes. Okay. That was an interesting game. Jack Campbell, we dominated them. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. It was pure and utter domination from start to finish. They tied it up, but we ended up winning in the shootout. Jack Campbell came alive in the shootout, but let me tell you, he's starting to look a little bit tired. And that's fair. That's why Peter Mrazek started last night. And Sheldon Keefe said that. We need, especially going into this month of February, that is going to be ridiculous, the amount of hockey that's going to be played. Especially when you go there from playing for two games a week for the past month, right? And then you just suddenly you're playing 3 games in 4 nights, like 4 times in 1 month. Like it's going to be nuts. But because of that, Peter Mrazek's going to need to get some starts, and he's going to need to perform in those starts. And yeah, because we don't want to burn out Jack Campbell. He's never played a full 82 game season as a starter. And you can see that, sometimes when you get tired, the puck just starts to look a little bit smaller, right? And you're just a little bit later on your reactions. And that's just how it works. That's the nature of the position. So,
and that's why you bring a guy like Mrazek in, so you can give Campbell a rest, and you're not fucking dropping off the quality in the net there.
Yeah, well, you're dropping off a little bit,
but not like a massive.
Like last night in the Detroit game, it was a little bit crushing when Detroit scored on their first shot on net. Like just little things like that. But we won. So, not to Joe Thornton it, but we won. So
yeah, there's no asterisk next to it in the fucking wins column that says, but Mrazek played like shit. Like,
no.
Dub's a dub.
And last night's game was wild. I honestly, at 4-2, I was like, I don't think I remember the Leafs ever coming back from a 2-goal deficit going into a third period. Like, that's just not in our nature. That's just not what we do. But we did. And your boy, Michael Bunting, with the hat trick, which was pretty clutch considering how close that game was. The score ended up 7-4, but I think that was actually like 2 empty netters, to be honest with you. So it was a good game. I was surprised to see the Leafs come back. Was very happy about the Leafs comeback. I'm just going to mention this once so I don't friggin' cry for the rest of the episode, but I was supposed to be at the game.
Anyway. If you're at the game, you would have had to come home and buy a Bunting jersey, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I got to talk to you later. I've got a trip planned now for the St. Paddy's Day game, potentially. This is potentially, which is March the 17th, 3 days after the province is supposed to open up for full hockey barns again. And they play the Canes on St. Paddy's Day in Toronto.
That might be a banger.
Yeah. And I have 16 days in a row off. I have from the 8th to the 25th off. So I'm going to go, I think.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so normally we do fill in the blank after the Habs stuff, but this one's very topical considering the game that happened last night.
Okay.
So fill in the blank. Michael Bunting is in blank place in the Calder race.
I would have to put him at 4.
And who's he behind?
I think Zegras is the consensus right now, Calder guy. And then the 2 wings, Raymond and Seider. We've talked about this. They're both unbelievable hockey players. Seider especially is probably He's one of my favorite players outside of Toronto. Mo Seider. I love that kid. He's great. He's a great hockey player. Unbelievable hockey player.
It kills me because I've said on this show like multiple times that defensemen don't really like integrate into the league as nicely as forwards do. It usually takes those couple years. You know, you look at a guy like Dahlin, even like Sandin, Romanov, like it usually takes him a couple years to kind of grow into that. And Moritz Seider is just nah. He just showed up and he runs the game.
Like Cale
He's
Makar.
unbelievable. Cale Makar,
similar to how he's not on the level of Cale Makar, but similar to how Cale Makar just kind of stepped in and was like, I got this.
Yeah,
I'm here now. I'm not leaving.
And he's fucking huge. He can skate. He can shoot. He can pass. Like he's just he's so good.
Yeah, love him, and he's not even a Leaf. So there it is.
Yeah.
So couple wins in the 2 games that we played this week. So obviously you can't really complain about much in that situation. But I just wish we were playing more, to be honest with you. I really do. I'm getting sick of Wednesdays and Saturdays, and that's it. It's really starting to be frustrating.
Not gonna lie, Ave, I wish the Habs were playing less.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's a good segue. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, just a rough week in Montreal. So we lost 8-2 to Minnesota, 5-4 to Anaheim, and then 7-2 to the Oilers last night. And it's just so crushing because at the end of last week, you know, we had the win against Dallas and the overtime losses to Vegas and Colorado, which we played well. Like, you know, I thought we were, you know, maybe turning the corner, getting some healthy bodies back. You know, like the 100% effort was there. Just, you know, against teams like Vegas and Colorado, you can lose those games. It's not too bad. And then to turn around and just get slapped by fucking Minnesota, 8-2. It literally looked like
Minnesota's a good hockey team.
True, they are. Like Kaprizov was doing laps of our offensive zone, like literally just fucking doing laps.
Yeah, and that way that that edge work that he has, where he's got both of his blades like this, and he's just circling the zone.
Yeah, and like dead ass, and like
he does it all the time.
Nobody could touch him, and like you know, Michael McNiven made his NHL debut in the 3rd period, replacing Primo. But yeah, we just got fucking slapped. Like,
yeah, it's ugly.
Then the Anaheim game, Zegras Michiganed us at full speed. On Sam, Primo started in the first, gave up 3. Montembeault started the second. That was the first shot Sam Montembeault faced. Was Zegras doing a lacrosse goal on him? So yeah, that's just kind of the way that game went.
That's painful.
The 3rd period in that Anaheim game actually was pretty good. You know, we fought back, pulled a couple goals back, and, you know, again, thought we were maybe turning that corner. And then the Oilers fucking just kicked the shit out of us last night. 3 goals in a minute 42. Yeah. Like the only positive thing I can say about that game is our power play's actually been kind of rolling. We have 7 goals in our last 8 games on the power play.
Well, that's if you're gonna take a positive, that's good.
That's it. You know, and across this whole week, Dvorak got hurt. Savard is now out for 8 weeks, and Jonathan Drouin is also hurt. So yeah, it's great.
Just lots of man games lost. Gotta love man games lost, right?
We're at 388, and that's a league by about 85 games.
Okay, but this is one thing. This is what I have to say about that. Is that includes both Carey Price and Shea Weber?
Yes, actually, Carey Price was on the ice this week. Actually.
Okay, but and this is I'll give credit to Brian Hayes of Overdrive. They don't count. Sorry. Okay, so Price and Weber don't count.
So even if you take, Price counts because there is hope that he comes back and he's back on the ice rehabbing his injury. Like he's working his way back. The Weber one, take out those 40 games, we still lead the league by about 40 games. Still,
I think that's, pardon my French, a bullshit stat, if you want the honest truth. I think it's very misleading when you say that the most man games, because you have players who just aren't going to play again that are being counted in those games.
Like I said, though, you could take Shea Weber's 40 games that he's missed this season out, and we still lead the league by 40 games.
Okay, so take out Carey Price's 40 games.
But the thing is, Carey Price is actually going to come back.
But there at no point did we ever think he was. So you had to plan for that. No, at no point did you think he was going to be playing by now, right? Like that's kind of what I'm saying. So you can't it's kind of misleading to group him in with other regulars.
Not exactly, because at the beginning of the season, even after the expansion draft, the whole thing was he was only expected to miss about a month or two, which is only about 20 odd games beginning of the season
ish.
That was the plan, and then he went into the assistance program, and things kind of slowed from there.
I think what I'm trying to tell you is that sounds like a really good excuse for how fucking horrible the roster construction of Montreal is. That's what I think. That's what I see.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, I've rhymed off rosters to you. I've told you we've played at fucking 30 or 40% of the cap floor.
Oh no, and there's been certain situations throughout the season, I understand that.
Yeah.
Where COVID and injuries just ravaged your locker room, right?
Yeah.
We all saw that, but every team's gone through that. The Leafs went through that. We had a lot of games canceled because of it. And
I know,
not canceled, but
I get that. But when you're talking about the best player on the team, Carey Price, that's a huge loss. And
but you knew it was going to be there. You knew that he wasn't going.
Not at 40 games, though. Oh, because like I said, the plan was he was not supposed to be out for this long. He has been, and that is what it is. But the plan was never for him to miss half, probably 3/4 of the season before he comes back.
Well, and that leads into another argument that I'd like to point out is the fact that without Carey Price, you're just Montreal is just a bad hockey team. They're just not pieced together properly to compete in this league without a guy like Carey Price.
I mean, right now, no. God, no.
Without a guy like Carey Price, they just aren't competitive. They just aren't.
Yeah. No, and I'm not going to argue that, Ave.
Yeah. And that speaks to two things. That speaks to, first of all, the value that Carey Price brings.
Yeah.
But it also speaks to the lack of proper roster construction from management, right?
Well, so I think this is kind of a two-year kind of thing. So I look at last year. Last year, that roster was properly constructed. I said it on our very first episode that we recorded that it was the deepest and best Habs team I've ever seen. And they proved it right by fucking going to a cup final. That's literally what I said. I said that's what that team was built for, and they were. They proved me right. But then we let a lot of core pieces go. We lost a couple core pieces to injury, and we didn't replace them. That's a fair. I'm not going to argue with you there.
So currently, the construction of the roster as it stands right now just isn't good enough to compete in the National Hockey League. We can agree on that?
I think if you leave Price and Weber out of it,
okay,
everyone else is healthy. We're not this bad. We're not great, but we're not this bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'd be competitive, maybe not fucking competing at the top of the league, but we wouldn't be this horrifically bad. But then you take a team that's already, kind of there, and you lose, Joel Edmondson, Brendan Gallagher, Paul Byron, fucking all these guys who've been hurt. Fucking Anderson missed time. Fucking now Savard's out 8 weeks. Jake Allen's out 8 weeks. Yeah. And then that's how we end up here. But the second thing is going to Carey Price's value, because we've argued this a bunch of times. Is Carey Price worth $10 million? Carey Price is worth every penny of that $10 million. He always has been. He always will be. Straight up.
It always will be. You lost me. It always will be.
Always will be.
No. There's a point where that contract is not good because the other thing that contract does is it limits your ability to build that roster that we're talking about because there's so much invested in one position, especially when you consider the amount of money that's invested in Jake Allen as well. So
Jake Allen's only on 3 something.
So that puts your total goaltenders take up $13 million of your cap.
Yes. I'll get you the exact number in just a second here. But I think I look at the year we had last year. What was the one thing that everyone fucking said in the playoffs was we're only there because of Carey Price. So that's to me that is $13 million because I include Jake Allen in that as well in the goaltending tandem. That's $13 million well spent.
No, it's just you can't spend it in other areas. And the Leafs run into the same issue when talking about the forward group, right? Like, we have so much money invested in our forward group that we can't spend that money in other areas. And it's the like cap world that we live in, I guess you could call it.
Jake Allen's on 2.875 for this season and one more.
Okay. So, okay. Well, and then what do you think the plan is going to be at that point? Is Carey Price going to remain a Hab, considering the new management, most likely a new coach coming in at some point?
So he has a full no move. So the whole thing is, if Carey Price wants to finish his career as a Montreal Canadian, he will. Because
do you think he's going to want to go somewhere and win a championship, though?
I don't know if that's I don't know the guy personally. He could.
No, I know you don't know. I'm asking what you think. Right, like that's
what I think. Look, I don't want to see Carey Price play for another NHL team. I don't. I know. The only other jersey I ever want to see him wear is Team Canada. That is it. He might be a guy that, because like I said, I don't know him fucking personally. He might be like, you know what? I want to be a career Hab. That to me will mean something, being, a one-team man, finishing my career here, love the city, love the fans type thing. But if he also wants to pull a Ray Bourque and, go to a contender at a deadline to try and win a cup, like, I'm never going to hold that against him. As long as he doesn't come out and, like, shit on fucking Montreal, like, as long as he doesn't do that, yeah, I got no problem with him pulling a Ray Bourque. Will he do it this year? No.
To me, if he doesn't win a cup, he will be the greatest goalie to ever not win a cup.
Oh, and I think 100%.
And I think that's why he needs to do that. He needs to find, because I think after last year and after seeing how things ended last year, I think probably not going to get back there in Carey Price's career. I would think.
Probably not going to get back there. We got him locked up till 25, 26. So depending how the rebuild goes, I can't predict the future, but
I just don't see it. And I can see him wanting, at least at the end, like at least like the last year of his contract there, saying, you know what, I'll take a trade. I'll go somewhere. I really want to win a championship, and that's that. And I can see it.
Yeah, and I said, as long as he doesn't come out and shit on Montreal.
And he wouldn't. He's not that kind of guy. He's a class act, right?
I know that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that's literally the only thing that would like ever actually that. And if he went to the Leafs, I don't think I couldn't handle him in a Leafs jersey.
No, I wouldn't want him in a Leafs jersey either. That'd be weird.
Yeah,
that would be really weird.
But I know people I've talked about this like for this upcoming trade deadline, and we can talk a little more the closer we get to the deadline. But like, there's no way nobody trades for him fucking right now. Like, no way.
No, why would you? You don't even know what you're getting.
Exactly. And like, so when I hear the trade talk, like now, I'm like, nah, like it's not going to happen this year. If he was back and maybe playing a bit, then maybe. But as it stands, like, we don't know when he's going to be on the ice. You can't really assign him a value because you don't know what you're going to get.
Exactly. You don't know when you're going to get what you're going to get either.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is another thing. So, anyway, yeah, I think that would be an interesting thing to see what happens at the end of Carey Price's career, contract, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure that he'll sign another contract. He seems like the kind of guy who would be it would be easy for him to walk away from the game.
I feel like it too. Like, I mean, even without the Cup, Hall of Fame career. Like,
oh yeah, definitely a Hall of Famer. Definitely a Hall of Famer.
I've had this debate with my dad that he's basically a cup away from being the Canadians' greatest goaltender of all time. If we'd picked up that cup over the summer there, he's the best Habs goalie all time. He already leads in wins. That's a long list. Oh, exactly. He leads in wins. He leads in games played. I think he's third in shutouts. You add a cup to that, he's already got a fucking MVP, Vezina, like the whole 9 yards. He's got everything except that cup in Montreal. And then you throw, Olympics and World Junior medals on top of that, and
yeah. No, he's unquestionably got a Hall of Fame career, and honestly, I think everybody in this country, every hockey fan wants to see Carey Price come back and be himself again.
Oh, 100%.
And be happy. I think that's
I know we've said it a bunch of times in the show right here, but like not even as a Habs fan, like for the hockey, like I just want to see Carey Price like okay and good. He was actually at the game last night, which was just fucking great to see.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, but that's it. If he came out and just said, because he actually has a press conference at 6:15 tonight, his first media availability since for the season actually. But if he just came out and said, yeah, like I'm retiring, it's for my mental health, my family, and all that, I'd be like, yeah, fucking
wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like I wouldn't hold anything against him, right?
No, want to hear a nut stat?
Love to.
Okay, it's kind of on topic because I'm talking about a goaltender.
Okay.
So yesterday was the Dominator Dominik Hasek's birthday, right?
Yep.
So casually, as hockey fans do, I was scrolling his Wikipedia page.
Over him.
And I was watching some unbelievable things that he has done. But anyway, that man one time, like this is crazy to me. When he was playing for Detroit, he had a private agreement with Ken Holland that he refused to get paid if he was hurt. Like, if he was not playing games, he was not taking pay. In one season, he gave away 3 of his $6 million salary. What? Why?
I love that.
Like, it's...
Because Dominik Hasek was just, like, he was just a great dude.
So, yeah,
absolute fucking nut job, the way he fucking played in net. But, like...
he refused to take pay if he was not actually playing in games.
Love that.
Like, even when... Like, there was a point where he came to a conclusion with the trainer that I'm like, I could play, but I'm going to rest up for a couple weeks because I don't want to re-aggravate something. It was a leg injury, I think, like a groin injury. And he was like, I'm not taking money. I'm not, like, what do you mean? Like, job security? Like,
I mean, to be fair, when he was in Detroit, he was already kind of at the tail end of his career, right? So it's not like he was...
He was in Detroit twice.
Shit, he was.
Yeah, he won 2 cups with Detroit. One in his first stint and one in his second stint.
I forgot about the first stint. I was only thinking the second one because the second one was the late 2000s, right? Like
2006 to 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the first one was from, I believe, 2000 to 2002. Won the 2002 Stanley Cup with them, and then won the 2008 Stanley Cup with them against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Correct. Yeah, because that was back-to-back final.
Yeah, back-to-back final. Penguins Wings.
I totally forgot about the first stint.
Yeah, and I was a little confused because I was like, I swear to God, it was Osgood who was like the goalie for...
In the early 2000s, for sure.
No, for Detroit in the late 2000s. I know, it's a mind bender. It's a mind bender.
Anyways.
Do you want to get to the rest of the fill in the blanks, FITBs?
Yeah, just give me 1 second here.
No. Absolutely, pull it up. Just saw a tweet, NFL Red Zone, except it's for NHL power plays.
Yeah, that would be great, except you'd get some really shit power plays in there, too. You'd end
That's
up
okay, you get some really shit football games, too. Like, do you know how annoying it is when you're watching a football game and, like, you're watching Red Zone and up pops Jets Giants? Like, I don't care. Nobody cares. Like, why? Anyway, so, fill in the blank. You want to start with the one that you had about Team Canada?
Actually, we'll get there. We'll just, I want to circle back to the Habs and Edmonton game. So, Evander Kane made his Oilers debut on Saturday night.
Let's talk about that first, and then we'll do his fill in the blanket. Okay, so Evander Kane, for some reason, Connor McDavid and Ken Holland think this guy is going to save their team.
You know what? Actually, keep going. We'll circle back to it.
This guy is the definition of a locker room cancer.
Yeah.
Like, by definition, he's a distraction off the ice. His teammates don't like him. He's selfish. He gambled on his own games, according to his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Like,
allegedly. We have to say allegedly.
I said according to his ex-wife. That's why I didn't say gambled on his own games. Finished sentence. According to his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So he made his debut last night and obviously scored because of course he did.
Yeah.
So that leads to the fill in the blank. Evander Kane will score blank goals in Edmonton this season, anyways.
So they got 40 games left-ish.
Ballpark, yeah. And he's got one. And last night he was playing with McDavid and Yamamoto.
Hyman. Yamamoto or Hyman?
Yamamoto.
Who was Hyman playing with?
Hyman was on
Draisaitl?
I think.
Okay. Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins?
No, Nugent Hopkins was running the third line.
Okay.
They split up the wealth a little bit, tried to even things out.
Okay. Well, that's not terrible.
Well, I mean, it worked. They pumped us for 7.
Yeah. Fair. So I would probably say he is going to finish playing with McDavid. I'd say he puts up 10 goals in the next 40 games.
I was gonna say like 10 to 12. I think would be.
Yeah, like I'll bet you he puts up 10 more than the one he already has. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah,
but
so that's what you're thinking about that too. That's
in that ballpark. But
okay.
I am really glad that he scored last night, and it like kind of turned out well, because I hope that like Edmonton's management and all that sees it and thinks that that's the right move, and that like keep doing things like that, because it's not going to help them win a championship.
Okay, so I don't understand why they're like it doesn't even address two of their biggest needs.
No, not at all.
And goaltending. Like it doesn't address either of those.
Not at all. But that's why I'm glad he scored, because everyone's gonna like. I guarantee you, Ken Holland, as soon as that puck went in the net, was sitting there going, "Boom! That's a great fucking deal." Like, there we go, boys.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable that guy's getting another chance.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, let's rifle off the rest of the fill in the blankies.
All right, another fill in the blank. Buffalo goalie Aaron Dell should have been suspended blank games for his hit on Drake Batherson.
He should be out until Batherson's back.
Yeah, like that was just gutless.
That was disgusting.
And like, as far as I could tell, there was no incidents like leading up to that. You know what I mean? Like that was just.
And the thing is, that's like the third or fourth time Aaron Dell's done that in his career.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that. You just can't do that.
Yeah, and like he got 3 games, and that's just fucking bullshit. Because Batherson's out for what, 2 months?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's missing out on his first, maybe only All-Star appearance.
Yeah.
You know, you just hate to see it, because some bonehead backup goaltender decided that he wanted to be a hero.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, he's lucky that a senator didn't go and fucking pummel him. Because like, I'm sorry, if that happens to one of my teammates, yeah, like I don't care. I'm running that goalie, I'm taking his head off. I don't give a fuck.
Why did nobody murder Zach Kassian after he destroyed Sam Montembeault last night? He just skated away like nothing happened.
I have no idea. I know Pizzetta fought him later, and that was more of just a Pizzetta and Kassian just never got on the ice together type situation, because the commentators said it. They're like, yeah, like they's never matched up. But yeah, and again, like I don't know. I know Petrie said like he's like, I'm not going to fight Kassian. I know I can't do that. But yeah, there should have been more of a
reaction. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Instead of Zach Kassian just looking every Hab in the eye and smiling as he skates by them after wrecking and knocking their goaltender's helmet off. Yeah, you want a reaction. Yeah. Hey, don't worry, the Leafs are bad for that too.
The Habs are typically good for it. That's the issue. And I mean, it took a while for Pizzetta to get back to him, but he did. I fucking love Pizzetta.
Yeah, he's an interesting character, that guy.
Yeah. Anyways, I would have said 10 games for Randell. Fuck him.
I would say and this is my thought on a lot of suspensions though. When you make a gutless act like that, you're out until Buddy's back, until Batherson comes back.
Yeah.
Healthy. Yeah. You're done until then. I do something that I failed to do over the past few weeks is give credit to a certain Leaf who has been unreal all year. And he's just flying under the radar.
Who's that?
Morgan Riley.
We've hyped him up quite a bit.
Dude, I just read this. Since he signed his contract extension, he's at a point a game.
Probably.
Yeah, 32 points in 32 games.
Yeah. He's been really good this year.
That is insane. He's a friggin' D-man. That's awesome. Anyway, I just saw that and I was like, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
All right. So before I say this next fill in the blank, let's talk.
Yeah.
Canada's Olympic roster has been announced.
Okay. Which Morgan Riley should have been on.
Morgan Riley probably would have been on it.
Well, the way he's playing right now, hell yeah. If you don't put him on it, that's ridiculous. Honest to God.
So starting in net, we've got Devin Levi, Matt Tompkins, and Eddie Pasquale going.
I only know one of those guys.
Yeah.
Levi.
Yeah, Levi's the young guy.
Defense, he played first at the World Juniors, right?
Yes. Defense, we got Mark Barbario, Jason Demers, Brandon Gormley, Alex Grant, Maxim Noro Bronze, Owen Power, Matt Robinson Bronze, and Tyler Witherspoon.
I know Owen Power.
Yeah. Mark Barbario is an ex-Hab, so I remember him. And Brandon Gormley, I remember when he played for Canada's World Junior team. He was pretty decent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember that.
And then for forwards, we've got Daniel Carr, Adam Cracknell, David Desharnais, Landon Ferraro, Joshua Hosang, Corbin Knight, Jack McBain, Mason McTavish, Eric Odell, Eric Stahl, Ben Street, Adam Tambellini, Jordan Wheel, and Daniel Winnick. So a bunch of ex-Habs in there, which is nice to see.
We got Josh Hosang in there. Love that for Josh Hosang. Did you happen to see what he said about being named to Team Canada's Olympic team?
No, I did not.
So this because with him, it's always been people, and for no reason, say character issues with Josh Hosang. That's been a knock on him since he came.
Didn't he wasn't he late for one practice in Long Island? And that
and then he wore number 66 in Long Island, and people lost their mind.
Yeah.
Like Lemieux didn't even play for the Islanders.
Yeah, and you can wear that's just totally fine. And wasn't his whole reasoning was that Lemieux was his favorite player?
Yes. And people just lost their minds for no reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, he when he was getting interviewed about making the team, he was like, I have all credit. I have to give all of the credit to Kyle Dubas for giving me a chance and allowing me to continue to play hockey this year. And but he was asked, would you, because he's not signed to a contract, like an NHL contract, that's why he's able to go, right? And he was asked if he would, let's say he has a breakout tournament here at the Olympics and NHL teams are interested in him. He said, I would have to talk to Kyle first. To be entirely honest with you, I would have to talk to Kyle first because he's the reason I'm here. So I'm not making a decision without talking to him first. If any other team wants to even take a look at me, they're gonna have to wait to see what the Toronto Maple Leafs have to say first. Even though he's not signed to a contract. That's respect, right? I love that for him. It's just great. Well, and I'd love to see him get a shot. I'd love to see him get a shot.
Is that a pretty decent year, John Lier, has he not?
Yeah, he has. I think he got hurt for a little bit, but when he's been healthy, he's been good.
All right, so that leads into this last fill in the blank here. The best team that Canada has sent to the Olympics was blank. So
I've been going first. You go first. I know what you want to say here too.
Yeah, so I'm going to say the 2002 Salt Lake Olympic champions are the best team Canada we've ever sent to the Olympics. I'm going to read off this roster, and it's just we talk about loaded rosters, Ave. This is the loaded roster. This might be one of the greatest Canada teams of all time. So just in alphabetical order here. Ed Belfour, Rob Blake, Eric Brewer, Marty Brodeur, Theo Fleury, Adam Foote, Simon Gagne, Jerome McGinley, Curtis Joseph, Ed Jovanovski, Paul Correa, captained by Mario Lemieux, Eric Lindros, Al McInnes, Scott Niedermayer, Joe Neuendijk, Owen Nolan, Mike Pekka, Chris Pronger, Joe Sakic, Brendan Shanahan, Ryan Smith, Steve Yzerman, and coached by Pat Quinn.
That's a pretty nasty team, but I don't think it compares to 2010.
Nah. I mean, you can rhyme off that roster. Let's talk. But
Patrice Bergeron, Sidney Crosby, Ryan Getzlav, Danny Heatley, Aginla, Marlowe, Brendan Morrow, Rick Nash, Corey Perry, Mike Richards, Eric Stahl, Joe Thornton, Jonathan Taves. That is the forward. Listen to this decor. Listen to this decor. Dan Boyle, remember, these are all prime.
Oh, I know. This is, yeah.
Boyle, Doughty, Keith, Niedermeyer, Pronger, Seabrook, Weber. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Have fun crossing the blue line. And backstopped by prime Bobby Lou, Roberto Luongo, with Martin Brodeur, who still wasn't out of his prime yet, backing him up with a third goaltender of Marc-Andre Fleury, who never saw the ice. But that's the best team that Canada's ever sent to the Olympics.
That's a great team, Ave, but it's not O2. O2 was just fucking phenomenal.
Come on, look at this. Look at what, are you seeing what I'm seeing here?
Ave, is there a single player that I fucking named off that isn't a fucking, if they're not a Hall of Famer yet, they're a shoo-in Hall of Famer? Like, every single one of those guys is a fucking dead for rights Hall of Famer.
I wouldn't say every single one of them, no. Let's just do some comparison shopping here.
The only one you might get me on is like Mike Pekka. Mike Pekka might not be a Hall of Famer. But everyone else
is not a Hall of Famer. Eric Brewer is not a Hall of Famer. Simon Gagne is not a Hall of Famer. Ed Jovanovski is not a Hall of Famer. Owen Nolan is not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
No. Ryan Smith is not a Hall of Famer.
Ryan Smith is 100% a Hall of Famer.
No, he isn't.
100%.
No, he isn't.
100%.
Surefire Hall of Famers on that list are, well, obviously Ed Belfour. Rob Blake's a borderline guy.
He's not borderline. He's in for sure.
Martin Brodeur is one of the greatest goaltenders of all time. That's not even up for discussion. Theo Fleury's a Hall of Famer. Adam Foote's a borderline guy.
No.
Simon Gagne is not a Hall of Famer. Aginla is definitely a Hall of Famer. Cujo is a Hall of Famer. Jovanovski's not. Correa is. Lemieux is. Lindros is. McInnes is. Neuendijk and Niedermeyer, I would say, are.
Yep.
Nolan and Pekka are not. Pronger and Sakic definitely are. Shanahan is. Smith is not. Yzerman is.
No.
Now let's go over to the 2010 team. Bergeron, Hall of Fame. Crosby, Hall of Fame. Getzlaf, Hall of Fame. Peter should be, probably won't be.
The fans Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Jerome Iginla was on both teams, so. Yeah. Patrick Marleau, borderline guy, I would say.
He's got the most games in NHL history. I don't think he cannot be a Hall of Famer.
I know, it's always that cup argument, though, man.
Okay, but I don't think a guy who has played the most games in NHL history doesn't need the cup argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got a point.
Like that's kind of, you get a pass on that.
Brandon Morrow's not a Hall of Famer. Rick Nash probably could have been a Hall of Famer, but he's not.
Yeah, yeah. You know, if you're not giving me fucking like Simon Gagne and fucking Ryan Smith, then yeah, you're not getting Rick Nash.
Corey Perry's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Habs legend.
Mike Richards is not a Hall of Famer, I would say. No. Eric Stahl is.
Yep.
Joe Thornton definitely is.
What about the cups, Dave?
What?
What about the cups? No cups?
Yeah, no, but it's jumbo.
I know. I'm just bugging you.
And Jonathan Toews is clearly a Hall of Famer also. As much of a prick as he is. Dan Boyle is probably not a Hall of Famer, but he's a borderline guy, I would say. Drew Doughty's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Duncan Keith is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. Scott Niedermeyer, I believe, is a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Chris Pronger.
That's the thing. Like half this team already is in the Hall of Fame, by the way. Like bunch of those guys.
Pronger's a Hall of Famer, right? He's in, right?
I'm pretty sure he's already in, yeah.
Seabrook is not. Weber is. Brodeur is. Fleury is. Luongo is.
Yeah.
I would say this team's better.
I think you put these two teams up against each other in their primes, like that 0-2 team.
Good game.
That's a fucking
two Jerome McGinley's, but it would be a good game.
And two Scott Niedermeyers and two Chris Prongers and
two Marty Brodeurs, no?
And two Marty Brodeurs, yeah. But like, I think you put these two teams up against each other. I think O2 wins for sure.
I don't think so. I don't
Straight
think
up.
so. This team also has Sidney Crosby on it, which I guess they had Mario Lemieux.
Babcock was the coach.
Babcock, yeah, he was the coach. He had to have been.
Well, I'm also taking Pat Quinn over Mike Babcock any day of the week.
Yeah, Mike Babcock's an idiot.
I
think we can agree on that.
I think so too. Actually, no, I still like him.
Yeah. Wow. That was a fun little trip down memory lane we just had there.
Man, that O2 team was so good.
Wow.
Also, like, and the fact that we can't even bring up like the 2014 team, which also won gold and was fucking also phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what else do we have to get to this week? We want to mention the big soccer game that's coming up at 3:00 today.
Oh yeah, Canada USA World Cup qualifying, fucking massive game for the boys in Hamilton.
Yeah,
that is
really hoping that we can pull that one off. Going to be cheering the boys from my garage here in Sault Ste. Marie.
Yep, yeah, it's going to be a tense one. I don't want to say win and you're in, but if we win it, I might be packing a fucking suitcase for Qatar in the winter, Ave.
Yeah, you want to come over and watch it?
I might.
Okay.
I might. Anyways, Christmas in Qatar, Ave. How does it sound?
Christmas in Qatar? I'm not going. You can go though.
Anyway. Yeah. So what do the Leafs have lined up for this week?
This week, I actually don't know. Let's take a look. So we have the Devils tomorrow. Finally, a game that's not on a Wednesday or Saturday. Oh my God. That's so exciting. Yeah, New Jersey tomorrow, and then also on Tuesday. So we have them on we play back-to-backs, a home and home with New Jersey, followed by nothing. The All-Star break is this weekend. This weekend coming up. So, we don't play again until Monday when we host the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, so the Habs for this week only have we actually play the Blue Jackets at 7:00 tonight. And then we are off for the week, and we're not back until next Tuesday against the Devils.
So you got okay. Yeah, there's a few teams I've seen that have some time off now.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the like the PA bargain week off, like the bye week.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what happened to that with COVID and everything. I didn't know if they were just going to scrap that for the time being or what. But it seems like they're still trying to give teams time off.
Yeah, no, we got it last year too, and with the shortened season, we still got that week off.
That's good.
So
that's good for team health, goaltender mentality, all of those things.
Honestly, like I'm just puck drops at 7 tonight in Montreal, so probably by like 9:30. It's just be nice to have a week of just no misery. I mean, I say that, and Habs are probably gonna get injured in that fucking week off, but you know what I mean? Just can't get fucking worse if we're not playing.
Fair. Another thing I wanted to shout out before we ended this episode, not hockey related, but if he has in fact retired, congratulations to probably the greatest athlete of all time, Tom Brady.
No. No, he's not the greatest athlete. You can give him greatest NFL player of all time. Absolutely. I'm not going to argue that. Not greatest athlete of all time.
You cannot say. You don't watch football. You have no idea. I watch every single sport. Every single one.
He is not the greatest athlete of all time. He's just not.
He's not the most talented or the most athletic, but he's the greatest athlete of all time. And that's not even up for discussion. Sorry, it's not.
No.
It's not. Who's better?
Lionel Messi is a far greater athlete than Tom Brady.
Yeah, and does Lionel Messi have 7 anything?
Probably Spanish league titles, yes. A handful of Champions Leagues. 7 Ballon d'Ors, actually. He actually does have 7 of those.
Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls. He's got more than any other team.
Yes, Lionel Messi has 7 Ballon d'Ors, has more than any other person in the history of soccer.
Yeah, no, we're talking a player versus an entire franchise. Tom Brady has more Super Bowls than any other franchise does.
And Lionel Messi probably has more Champions Leagues than most teams do.
Probably, or does?
I would say there's very few teams that have more than him. I know Real Madrid's at like 13 or 14, so they're ahead of him. But like, he's got everything. He's won a fucking
Tom Brady, in the 5 years that he played in his 40s, threw for more touchdowns and yards than his entire 20s. Nobody has ever aged or been as great for as long as Tom Brady. Nobody in any sport. It's
Lionel
just
Messi.
No, not even close. I don't even have Lionel Messi in my top 3 greatest athletes of all time.
That's because you're uncultured.
No, it's not. No, it's because you're uncultured.
I am very cultured.
Oh yeah, where's MJ rank?
See, because now you're throwing me in the fucking. If you got to give me time for these lists, because I got to do my research.
Okay, well, I think we have something to do for next week. Gitano.
We definitely do.
Top 5 greatest athletes of all time. Book it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's fucking do it then.
I cannot believe the blasphemy that I'm hearing from you right now. Tom Brady
is not the greatest athlete of all time.
I hated him for most of his career, to be honest with you, because he was so good. But I have more respect for that guy in sports than anybody because of the things that he's continued.
I'm not saying I don't.
40s.
I'm not saying I don't respect him or like. None of that. He's absolutely probably the greatest NFL player of all time. I don't watch enough to really say. I would probably bet he is, but he's not the greatest athlete of all time. He's just not. He's just not. He's just not, Ave.
Talk to his teammates, but actually, this is what I want you to do. Before you make your list, you have to go and just listen to his teammates talk about him. You have to. Okay?
I'm not doubting any of that, Ave.
He brings something different to his team than anybody in the history of sports has.
And I think that's just you're just fucking speaking out of your ass right now, Ave.
No, I'm quoting Julian Edelman.
No, he's not the greatest athlete of all time. Straight up.
Well, we'll have more discussions on this next week. Anyway. Yeah, we're gonna have some pretty heavy discussions on that one. Anyway, you got nothing you want to get off your chest?
No, I believe that is everything. I think next week, yes, we'll obviously do this debate next week. I think we might have, depending on the Olympic schedule, we might have some Olympic hockey to talk about.
Yeah.
And then the All-Star game is next weekend, so we'll have that to talk about. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for listening today, everybody. This is episode 44. Let's have a good February here. And again, thank you for listening. Thank you, TGEM, for hosting us. And we'll see you next week.